Canada is rich. So why do Canadians feel poor? Canada has oil, minerals, farmland, freshwater, educated workers, stable financial institutions, and one of the world's largest advanced economies. Yet millions of Canadians struggle to afford groceries, save for emergencies, purchase a home, or survive even a temporary loss of income. That contradiction is the Canadian paradox. According to the 2026 UBS Global Wealth Report, the average Canadian possessed nearly $400,000 in wealth. Median wealth was approximately $148,000 per adult, while the International Monetary Fund placed Canadian economic output at roughly $60,300 per person. On paper, Canada appears exceptionally prosperous. But here's the problem. Wealth is not the same as money Canadians can actually spend. A homeowner may possess hundreds of thousands of dollars in home equity while carrying a large mortgage and having almost nothing available in the bank. The house makes that person look wealthy, but it cannot buy groceries unless they borrow against it or sell it. Statistics Canada reported that total household net worth exceeded $18.6 trillion in early 2026. But Canadian household debt also reached approximately $3.25 trillion. Canadians owed almost $1.80 for every dollar of disposable income, and mortgages accounted for approximately $2.43 trillion of that debt. Canada's housing market has therefore created two very different countries. Canadians who purchased homes before prices exploded accumulated enormous amounts of equity. Younger workers, renters, and recent arrivals must now pay much higher prices to enter the same market. One generation gained wealth because housing became expensive. The next generation must sacrifice more of its income because housing became expensive. RBC Economics estimated that owning an average Canadian home still required approximately 53% of median household income during the first quarter of 2026. This helps explain why someone can earn what once appeared to be a respectable salary and still feel financially trapped. The wealth itself is also highly concentrated. Statistics Canada found that the wealthiest 20% of households controlled 65.7% of Canada's total net worth at the end of 2025. The bottom 40% held only 3%. This means national wealth can continue rising even while a large part of the population becomes less financially secure. The consequences are visible at the grocery store. Approximately 9.8 million people, including almost 2.4 million children, lived in households experiencing some degree of food insecurity. That is not happening because Canada lacks food. It is happening because many households do not have enough money remaining after paying for rent, mortgages, transportation, and other necessities. Canada's economy has also directed enormous amounts of money toward existing real estate instead of productive investment. Buying and selling increasingly expensive property can create wealth for owners, banks, and investors, but it does not necessarily produce new technology, factories, intellectual property, or higher output. That connects directly to Canada's productivity crisis. Statistics Canada found that Canadian business sector productivity was approximately 73% of the American level. Productivity does not mean forcing Canadians to work harder. It means giving workers better technology, equipment, infrastructure, management, and investment, so every hour of work produces more value. When productivity remains weak, wages struggle to keep pace with housing and living costs. The economy may grow because the population is larger, but individual Canadians do not necessarily become more prosperous. Canada is not a poor country. It is a wealthy country that has difficulty converting its resources, assets, and economic potential into widespread financial security. Too much wealth is locked inside expensive housing, concentrated among established asset owners or supported by debt. Solving this will require more than one tax cut, one interest rate reduction, or one government program. Canada needs attainable housing, stronger competition, productive business investment, better infrastructure, and industries that transform Canadian resources into valuable finished products. The real challenge is not creating wealth. Canada already possesses extraordinary wealth. The challenge is ensuring that national prosperity produces higher disposable incomes, stronger savings, and a better standard of living for the people who actually live here. Until that happens, Canada will continue appearing rich to the world, while millions of Canadians feel increasingly poor.